We see a group of meteorites hits an Australian and spreads a virus that turns people into zombies. People with blood type A can only get it from a bite, but it spreads quickly because it lives in the air. Soon, people all over the world will get sick and start killing each other in gross ways. A small group of experts work with the army to find a cure by testing it on people who have survived. Brooke was one of their test subjects. She got out of the lab and turned into a hybrid that can direct zombies telepathically. Later, Maxie and Grace, they try to stop her, but Brooke bites Grace in the neck. Barry pulls her back right away and gives her a blood tube. She calms down as soon as she drinks it. Grace still doesn't trust them, so she shoots an arrow at them. Barry catches it in his hand, though. As soon as Grace and Maxie call them monsters, they leave. At the same time, Reese wakes up at his station and does what he always does. He takes the medicine to fight the virus and puts on his soldier's outfit and weapons. Dead people attack him as soon as he comes out, so he fires at them to kill them. Soon, a large group of zombies circles the fence, but Reese doesn't pay attention to them. He keeps the zombies moving and breathing fuel by giving them meat. In the end, he throws meat a long way to get the zombies to come outside, and then he gets in his protected truck and drives off. The army sends him a message about a possible catch through the Trick's radio, and Reese quickly prepares to shoot a hybrid man riding a bike who comes up behind him. Reese goes after the guy who crashed and captures him. He then takes him to the military bunker where they are trying to find a fix. The troops not only take the guy away, but they also get a zombie that Reese keeps in his truck for fuel and send it to the lab through the tunnel shuttle. The Surgeon General tells Reese that they have found Brooke and need to catch her for the tests. She also killed Reese's brother. The Surgeon General's hand starts to move funny all of a sudden, but he says it's just a cramp for now. Grace and Maxie are trying to get away as quickly as possible, but Grace can stand the pain from the bite, and she will soon turn into a zombie too. Maxie gives her a tube of blood to calm her down because she starts to lose it right away. At that very moment, an explosion goes off in their car. The person it is turns out to be Reese. He moves in to catch them but is hit by a grenade thrown by Grace. With his cover, Reese stays safe. And it also helps when Grace attacks him with a bat and a gun. When her gun runs out, Reese hits her twice and shoots her to death. He then drives off with her in his truck, but he forgets to take Maxie with him. In the lab, it turns out that the Surgeon General hurts the people he experiments on very badly. After shocking a woman with electricity, he puts a metal rod up her nose and pulls out a bunch of fluids, which he then injects into his arm. The door opens all of a sudden, and the colonel and another man catch the surgeon in the act. When the soldier tries to arrest the surgeon, the colonel shoots him, showing that he is also sick and working with the surgeon to find a cure. When Reese turns the car around to leave, Grace wakes up and grabs his neck with her legs. She's losing it, so Reese pushes her away and pulls out his gun. Grace drinks the blood tube, though, and calms down. When Reese finds out that she is also a mix, they quickly got to the lab. But when the soldiers tried to grab Grace, she fought back until one of them was able to knock her down. Grace is still losing it, so Reese feeds her with a blood tube again. This calms her down before she is taken to the lab. After that, Reese drives off, but his truck quickly becomes stuck. He checks on his fuel zombie and sees that it isn't moving. He tries giving it meat, but it doesn't work. Then Reese throws the zombie away and raises the meatful spoon in the hopes that another zombie will be drawn to the smell. Not far away, a zombie walks through the trap and doesn't notice that Maxie is following it in secret. When the zombie finds the truck, Reese shoots it down and then hooks it up to his own car to leave. He doesn't know that Maxie has jumped into the back of his truck. Reese drives to an army warehouse. The warehouse workers give him a box that needs to be taken to the lab. Luckily, Maxie hides under the truck before they can find her. Reese goes back to his camp and throws some meat out to get the zombies to leave his fence so he can go inside. When the zombies try to come back, Reese turns on some very bright lights to scare them away. When he gets home, he opens the box they sent him and finds a strange device inside. But all of a sudden, the power goes out. For a quick fix, Reese goes outside. But Maxie knocks him out when he gets back to his room. When Reese wakes up the next morning, he is tied up, and Maxie points her gun at him and demands to be taken to Grace. Max takes Reese to the truck and makes him drive through the gate instead of opening it properly. As they drive to the lab, Reese waits for Maxie to look away and then pulls a lever that throws Maxie out of the car. He then shoots her and ties her up right away to keep her in check. When they get to the lab, Maxie is taken from the truck by a soldier who says she'll end up in a barrel. This makes Reese suspicious, and he asks the colonel for an answer, but the colonel just tells him to leave. When Reese says he's going back to his truck, he actually grabs his gun and starts shooting everyone. He then kicks the colonel a few times, saves Maxie, and drives off. Soon after, an army truck is following Reese down the road. They quickly start firing, so Maxie grabs a gun and shoots back, stopping them. After a lot of trouble, Maxie pulls the lever to get out. When Reese wakes up, he is tied to a tree, and the colonel is shooting at him without any reason. He calls him a criminal. The colonel and his men leave Reese to be eaten because a huge group of zombies is coming toward them. The zombies will be all around Reese in an instant. So he does all of his daily exercises to keep his legs up and out of harm's way. He's worn out and hurt, though, so he loses his strength and his legs fall. The zombies are about to bite him when all of a sudden they stop moving. Maxie brought Barry and Brooke with her, and she is using her skills to control the zombies. After passing out again, Reese wakes up tied up at Barry's base, where Brooke keeps some zombies as her own army. He hits him for what he did to Grace, but Maxie told him he saved her life. So for now, he'll keep Reese living. Brooke is still mad, though, and she pushes Reese to the ground to scare him. This makes Reese agree to work for them. Reese tells them everything he knows about their safety when they go to the building the next day. Barry calms Brooke down with a bottle of blood when she gets too angry. Then Brooke uses her power to control the zombie that is linked to the machine gun. The group then goes inside, but when Reese finds the man he brought in the other day inside a barrel, he can only stare in shock. He gets angry and beats up a scientist to get answers. Reese shoots the scientist several times out of anger, then pinches Barry and tells him they need to kill everyone in the lab. Soon after, the team shows up at the lab and acts like they have Brooke in jail. They also use the tube shuttle to bring in 2 zombies as test subjects. Brooke uses her power as 3 soldiers come out, starting a fight between the guards and the zombies inside. Maxie with a machine gun steps out. The rest of the team then starts shooting at the soldiers to kill them. The colonel sees this on the security cameras and hits a button to close the front door. But Barry quickly takes over the mechanism and gets it stuck. Maxie follows them through the tunnel shuttle while Brooke, Barry, and Reese go in through the front door. Pretty soon, Maxie finds a vent and crawls through it until she gets to the man who is in charge of the security cams. She kills him quickly and opens all the doors to the lab below. The 3 can now go deeper into the lab. Brooke can feel Grace behind the last door, which is still locked. Next, Brooke moves forward with the zombies, but the door shuts behind them right away. Right then, the surgeon lets out a strong cyborg zombie that he controls with a device that he wears on his body. Brooke sends her zombies after it, but the robot is too strong and kills them all quickly, leaving Brooke to fight it alone. She's not strong enough either, so the robot quickly beats her. But just as it's about to kill her, the surgeon's hand starts acting up again. So it turns out that Grace also has the power. She controls the hand and makes it hit the surgeon over and over again. Since the robot can connect to itself, it does the same thing. She then makes the hand choke the man. But the doctor uses his other hand to reach his metal rod and shocks Grace, making her pass out. When the robot gets better, it ties Brooke up against the wall. At the same time, The Colonel shows up with Maxie as a hostage and tells Barry and Reese to drop their guns. The Colonel then hits Maxie and shoots Barry, and he then starts to fight him hand to hand. Barry tries to crawl to get to his gun. When Barry hits him in the head, Reese grabs the Colonel from behind, but the Colonel tackles him and starts hitting him. Just as he's about to shoot Reese, Brooke rips the wires off the power source and hits the cyborg with them, cutting the power off, and Maxie shows up next to the Colonel to blow up his head, while the doctor calls for help. After that, the group kept going until they saw the surgeon leave with Grace in the tunnel shuttle. Right then, the surgeon throws a bomb, which goes off and badly hurts the team but doesn't kill anyone. Through the security cameras, Reese sees the surgeon leave with the new backup. Suddenly, the screens go black, and the computer locks all the doors and starts the self-destruct process. And Barry is already changing into a zombie. Brooke thinks of a way to help him. She hooks Barry up to the computer and then puts Reese and Maxie in the tunnel shuttle. Barry uses his breath to power the shuttle. Right before the lab bursts, the two get outside and are killed. Reese finds a motorcycle with a zombie attached to it. The doctor and his men go to Reese's base to look for the box with the device. They tie Grace up to a table and then connect the device to both her and the surgeon's noses. All of Grace's blood is then sent straight to the surgeon's body. As the soldier grows wary, he looks at the surgeon's arm and sees that it was bitten. But it's too late. The surgeon has also turned into a hybrid. He shoots both guards, and by the time Reese and Maxie get there, they've only seen Grace. As Maxie mourns the death of her sister, the surgeon springs Reese from behind and hits him in the head, knocking him out. The doctor then drags Maxie into a cage and starts fighting Reese with his bare hands. He beats Reese easily by using his new strength and making fun of him for not having a clue for a whole year. Soon, the doctor is able to hold Reese down and is about to crush his head when Grace wakes up and stabs him with a metal rod. Then she gets the surgeon torn apart with her own mixed power. She then tries to attack Reese, but luckily she finds a blood bag he kept in his vest and drinks it. Reese sees that the surgeon is still alive. He kills him by shooting him in the head. He wants to delete himself to make up for his sins, but Grace stops him when he raises his gun. Max tells him to take the medicine anyway so he can keep fighting with them and help other people, which will wash away his sins. That's okay with Reese. He takes the medicine. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.